Alright, what's going on guys? It's GCP here, and we're going to be talking about what a tryhard means. Honestly, it's a term that we have been seeing in the gaming scene for a while now. Obviously, people will try to use it as an insult to try to demean somebody because they want to let them know that they are trying, quote unquote, air quotes here, trying way too hard at the game, whether that's to win or trying to gain some sort of an advantage to be able to have a one-up over your opponent. And it's something that I kind of thought was a funny term. Have I used it before? Absolutely. Have other people used it on me? Absolutely. I've seen this term being thrown around quite a bit. So I wanted to discuss what exactly it means, what the community thinks it means, and also get your guys' opinion to see what you guys think it means. So with that being said, let me talk a little bit about the gaming tryhard and what I think its main intended purpose is for being used. First of all, I think it's used as an insult, right? People obviously will try to insult the other person who's trying, quote unquote, too hard. A lot of times in its history, we've seen tryhards use maybe the same technique. It doesn't even have to be for a first-person shooter game. It could be, like, for example, a fighting game, where they will use the exact same move in order to win. We've seen this all the time before in fighting games, where they'll just sit and spam the exact same move in order to win. Call it cheap, call it tryhard, but a lot of times people were pretty upset, or people do get upset when you spam the exact same move. You button mash, stuff like that, right? So when it comes to fighting games, the tryhard is using the same exact move all the time. When it comes to first-person shooters or any other game, it's using the most cheap weapons, most overpowered weapons or techniques in order to gain the advantage on your opponent and in order to win. So honestly, if I were to look at it from an objective point of view, the term tryhard, even though it's meant to be used as an insult, it's something that's kind of funny to me, because wouldn't you be trying hard to win? I mean, you're not trying to lose the game. You obviously want to win the game. That's the whole objective. Now, how you achieve that win is totally up to you. That's whatever you decide is going to give you that advantage. So others might think of it being a cheap way to win, and I personally can't bag on somebody for wanting to win the game. So that term tryhard was always funny to me, because why wouldn't I try to win a game? Another thing that I think tryhard is it's a sign of insecurity more than anything. It's just an easy excuse that anybody can use when perhaps the game isn't going the way that they want it to go. In addition to that, I believe that gamers have an ego, and it's a pride that they have a hard time letting go of. To admit that somebody is outplaying them is something that we cannot give up easily. And it happens to all of us. I would lie to you guys if I told you guys that it did not happen to me. I lose my cool all the time, and I get frustrated. I lash out on everything else but my own skill and being outplayed. I mean, that happens to all of us, and it's a very common thing, but it takes a lot, and I mean a lot, to be able to admit when we've gotten outplayed. I wouldn't ever take the term seriously if you are ever accused of being one, because honestly, I think of it as a compliment, and other people have to throw that term around in order to feel good about themselves in case they're losing. Another thing is, and reality is, that people can play the way they want. If somebody chooses to try as hard as possible, uses, for example, the best loadouts all the time, that is totally their right. I mean, they've purchased the game. They have every single right to play it the way they want, no matter how cheap it is, no matter how angry we might get at those people using those same techniques or the best loadouts, best weapons, best perks, etc. You know, it is their right to do that. And again, like I said before, we might get angry, we might get upset with them, we might call them tryhard, we might try to insult them with these terms, but at the end of the day, what are they trying to do? They're trying to get that win, so I really can't hate them for that. Then another thing to keep in mind is when you try hard, and for example, I'm just speaking for myself here, I would try hard in everything that I do. I play to win, I work to win. I mean, if you're on my team, I expect that from you. If you're not trying to win, then I'm gonna hate you actually even more. If you play me at Call of Duty, I will try hard to win. That's just what I do. I mean, I wouldn't think that there's a lot of people out there who enjoy losing. Now, are there? I think a lot of people want to win a game. I mean, losing cannot feel good. I mean, just to keep your honor intact, I mean, really, like, does that really matter in video games as much as you think it does? Because at the end of the day, it's all about winning. Let's say, for example, if I try hard and I lose, I will congratulate you and try harder to beat you the next time. No matter how frustrated I might become, I use it as motivation. So for example, in Call of Duty, I would use weapons, perks, and streaks that will help me win, who wouldn't, to gain that advantage. I mean, wouldn't you? You know, a lot of people will say that a tryhard is taking the game way too serious and trying so hard that it angers them when somebody else does better than them. They usually will call you trash at the end of every game when you win, and then they talk major smack when you lose, give every possible excuse as to why you killed them. Like, they will blame connection, they'll blame lag for everything. I mean, you could be a full sprint rusher in every kill cam, and they'll still call you a camper. To me, it's basically another cop-out as to why somebody did better than them or killed them a bunch of times and they outplayed them. That's just the best term that people can come up with when they are getting beat out. And another term that we've talked about a lot of times here on this channel is sweat, which is another term for another time. But I have actually made a video talking about a tryhard versus a sweat and what the difference is to me. Obviously that has changed over time, but I will link that in the description below. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely go in the description to check out that video. But at the end of the day, this is what I think of tryhard. Being called a tryhard means, if I was called a tryhard, I would take it as a compliment, because that means that I am trying my level best to win that game, no matter the strategy used in order to achieve it. And like I said before, if you were on my team and I saw that you made an effort to win that game, I would be happy as a teammate that you tried your level best to try to achieve the W. Obviously, you want the W when you guys are playing for that objective to win. So why wouldn't you try hard to win the game? I always thought this term was really funny. I always thought it was kind of weird that people would use it as an insult, but I understand that people do use it as an insult to try to tell the other person when they're doing better than them. I mean, it might be a psychological thing, but at the same time, at the end of the day, both parties, regardless of what side you're on, losing or winning, you're gonna try to win that game. Believe me, because nobody at the end of the day wants to lose. So being called a tryhard to me is actually a compliment. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think a tryhard means to you, and how should it really be used? Let me know all of that down below. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload. And with that being said, this is GCP, signing off.